Hey, this is Stephen Galindo with some sacred wisdom for you. I got to thinking the other day about role models. And, some of us had good role models in our lives, and some of us had bad role models in our lives. Good role models were people that were placed in our lives that were doing something right, doing life right. And so we watched them and we learn from them. And maybe it's handling money, or maybe it's handling relationships, or raising kids, or whatever the case may be. We watch them and we pattern our lives after them to some degree because they're good role models. And then there's other people in our lives that are not good role models. And I got to wondering, why would God allow bad role models in our lives? What I would call a negative influence. Why would God allow us to have a bad role model or a negative influence in our life? And I got an idea about three reasons why that I want to share with you. The first reason why God might allow a negative role model in your life is to show you how not to live your life, how not to be. Maybe they're mismanaging their marriage, or they're mismanaging money, or they're mismanaging their children, or they're mismanaging their health or their career, whatever the case may be. You look at them, you watch them, you pay attention to what you're doing, and you think to yourself, I'm not going to do it that way. That's not how I want to live my life. So I'm going to watch them, and then I'm going to do just the opposite to be successful in life and not be failing like they're failing. Maybe that's the first reason why He allows negative influences or poor role models in our lives, to teach us how not to behave. The second reason that I thought of is that it goes back to that old saying. There's an old saying that says, "There but for the grace of God go I." In other words, were it not for Jesus in my life, working in my life the way He does, I might be like them. And so they serve as sort of an example you can look at and think, you know what? If I weren't committed to God, if the Holy Spirit wasn't working in me, I might be like them. And so it's not a mirror being held up to you. It's like the opposite of a mirror. This would be you were it not for God's grace working in your life. That might be a second reason why God allows negative role models in our lives. And the third reason why He might allow what I call a negative influencer in my life is that maybe, just maybe, He brought us into an intersection of meeting so they could see what their life could be like if they would commit themselves to God, if they would confess their sins and turn away from them, if they would commit themselves to the Lord and accept Him as their King. Maybe they could live the kind of life that I'm living. In other words, maybe He allows us to have this intersection of our lives because I'm supposed to influence them by the way I behave. So there's three reasons why maybe God might allow someone negative in your life. Number one, to show you what you might be like were it not for Him. Number two, so that maybe you could influence them in some sort of way toward God. And number three, so you can learn how not to live life by watching how they live theirs. That's just a little bit of sacred wisdom that I wanted to share with you, and I hope that it was a blessing to you. I think that everything in life we can learn something from. The right way to do it, the wrong way to do it, or something along those lines. I think God's a great teacher if we just pay attention. Anyway, I hope that blesses you, and I'll be back later.